prepared, so I got my microphone on. Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. I always forget to hit that little button, but come on in. We're going to talk about Micah. We're going to talk about what it's like to be a Christian, to be um, in a relationship. Hey, thank you, Susan. Come on in. You are so welcome here. This is a safe place to discuss ideas. Let's think outside the box. There's still a lot of mystery that surrounds Micah Francis' case. So let's shine some light. Maybe I have a puzzle piece. Maybe you have a puzzle piece. You're welcome to join in on the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, if I'm able to answer, then I certainly will. We're talking about Micah Francis. Now, the Micah Francis case has brought the story of abuse. And unfortunately, in this particular case, it was a story that had a tragic end. It brought this story to the forefront. And so many of us can empathize. Either we've been through or into abusive relationships of one form or another and know what it's like. Yeah, JP is hiding, Susan. I do believe. I haven't heard not a word since his arrest. And that's been like, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago? 2.5, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, so do you think the FBI raid scared him? Do you think he's waiting it out? Is he scheming and planning? What's he doing? My name's Chevy, and my channel is Chevy Cool Lady. We discuss true crime, Christian issues, news, current events. Tonight we're talking about we're talking about Micah Miller, and I'm sharing my notes with you guys tonight. I'm digging in. I have a lot of notes. I've been with Chevy, like CHEVY, Chevy Cool Lady. That's me. So nice to make your acquaintance. If this is your first time here, this is a safe place to discuss true crime, Christian issues, current events, weird things in history, whatever y'all want to talk about. I'm here for you. What's my age? Smarter Arts. I'm 62. I'm the mother of 7 children and soon to be 14 grandchildren. I've lived a long time, and I'm one woman who does not have a problem with her age. I never have. I look forward to the future. You know, if I have some wrinkles or whatever, glory to God, that means I have survived. You know, yes, 62. So I'm officially old, which is great. I made it. I didn't think I would. I've had a roller coaster ride of a life in a lot of ways. I'm a grandmom, and I have my youngest daughter's about to have her 3rd child, and that'll be my 14th grandbaby. 14. I have a small little nation. It's awesome. I'm blessed, and you know, being myself is, you know, I'm not trying to come across like everything's perfect. I will tell you the truth. I'm a truth seeker, and I don't believe in being fake and phony. And you know, hi, welcome in Vishwanath, Jennifer, MD Ayan. Come on in. Come on in. I'm so glad to have you here. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. We are bringing awareness. What we're bringing awareness to today is narcissistic control, the dilemma of being in a relationship bound by marriage, upheld by the church, and degrading to the woman or man who's in in the relationship that the vows have been broken. How committed are you to that relationship? Is there a relationship? What do you think? Do you think that if you're in a marriage and the vows have been broken blatantly and repeatedly without remorse, are you obligated to stay with that partner? Do you think so? What? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Um, am I smarter arts? I'm an artist, and I've been in the professional world. I'm retired now, spreading awareness through this particular platform here on YouTube. So I'm so glad you're joining me today. Thank you so much. Micah Francis, have you guys in India heard of Micah Francis? I know this case has gone international, and I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering how far this has reached. Um, so basically, we're going to pick up with my goal here is to empower the abused. I have an ear for the abused. I want to hear from you. You have a friend in me, and I want you to know I'll do everything I can in my power to get you help. I promise you I will. Just send me an email. Let me know what's up, because I want you to be empowered. So I'm going to also offer the story and some advice here. Now, the important thing to do is allow yourself to listen as a Christian, as a believer. If you know somebody that is in this position where they're in an abusive relationship, it's so important to believe the stories that they say. Sometimes these stories seem outrageous, outlandish, and you can't even imagine the perpetrator doing these things. But listen, believe in that moment. It's so important. Yeah, I'm coming to you live from South Carolina. South Carolina. A very cloudy, overcast day it is today, but I like it. It's nice. It's not really cold. We're going to talk about some things that happen within the church when you are married to somebody who has broken vows. A lot of times the whole church will tell you to stay together, and sometimes that's the very worst thing that someone who's being abused could do, is stay in a relationship that's not safe. But there are some tips. If you're that person in that position, there is help, there is advocacies, and I will definitely put some information for you in the description. I've also done other videos on advocacy and DV. So we want to make sure everybody gets the kind of help that they need, if they need it. And if not, we want to make sure you get the kind of training that you need to be a better listener and be a better friend and be someone who could rescue somebody out of that situation. Because, you know, in all actuality, too many lives are lost because there's nobody there for them. They feel stuck. A person who's been abused has been isolated and manipulated to the point where they can't even think. And we saw this in the Micah Francis case. You need help? Just go ahead. I have an email. Send me your email and I will answer you. Okay. It's a sad situation. And a lot of people don't know how to help. And a lot of people ignore situations, unfortunately, and especially if an abusive situation has taken a physical turn, there's really no going back from that, in my opinion. And you know, they even say that if someone's been choked in a relationship, it increases the odds of being actually killed in that relationship, and we don't want any lives to be lost needlessly. Micah Francis, in my opinion, lost her life far too soon. We all have our opinions about what happened, but we have to go at this point by the evidence that's been shown, and we're praying that the FBI comes through and avenges her cause, in my opinion. So let me go ahead and pull up some information here. And when I say pull up, I mean actually turn the page on my notebook. So I wanted to talk to you about some symptoms and some condition name called that you're all familiar with, PTSD. Okay, when you're in an abusive relationship, unfortunately, it leaves scars on your mind, as scars on your psyche. It affects your confidence and how you even can think. Sometimes there's a lot of control and that type of thing that goes on. We saw that in Micah's situation. I think everybody agrees that, according to the affidavits, police report, and not just people's opinions, J.P. Miller was an abusive SOB. He did Micah wrong, and it is, in my opinion, that he was an abusive man and coercively controlling. I even hate to use the word pastor, but religious leader, cult leader, in my opinion. There's certain types of behavior that is very common, whether it's in an abusive partner or it's in an abusive, controlling cult. The first common denominator, and we see it all the time, is the isolation. Then there's an exploitation on that person, making money off of you, exploiting your time, your efforts, getting free labor out of you. I recall several interviews with JP's associates in the early days of the interviews where they would say, I was up at the church doing all kinds of work, and thank you for liking my art. I appreciate it. But JP had Micah, what was she? Like a worship leader up on the stage singing, women's ministry, youth ministry, design, everything for him, everything for the church. Isolated her, and then exploited her time. I don't know what she was paid, but I'm sure it wasn't enough. I have no doubt in my mind. Nevertheless, it kept her on a strict and stringent schedule. He was controlling of her intake, what she ate, especially when it came to medicine, right? The lithium saga, the push, like he's the pusher man, it's like, come on, man. He thinks he's a doctor. We didn't come across, I don't believe, any prescriptions for Micah for lithium. Did you all actually see any prescriptions for lithium by any chance? I'm just curious about that. I don't think so, but he sure mentioned it in every interview, in every affidavit, every chance he got. Even Micah said every chance he got, he would tell the church, I had mental illness. I was sick. Exploiting her. I'm coming to you live from South Carolina in the good old United States of America. Welcome in, my worldwide friends. Come on in. We're talking true crime And we're talking some basic psychology too today. We're talking about narcissistic behavior. Do y'all know any narcissists? Is your one of your parents, your partner, a boss narcissistic? Are they controlling? Hello, Joe Quinn, Adamel, Mr. Panda Channel, Zahenzeb. Come on in. Come on in. You can come to South Carolina. Yes, of course you can. Why not? It's a nice place. Myrtle Beach is a nice place. I live just outside Myrtle Beach. It's all right. It all has its good points and its bad points, just like everybody else. Now, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. It would really help me out a lot. It would help my channel grow, and it would help bring awareness to more eyes. So I really appreciate it if you would do that. Thanks so much. I have some information here that I want to share with you guys. And what this has to do with is being born again but struggling. Being born again but struggling. You know, we have to look at, where does the struggle come from? Is the struggle coming from ourselves? Is it coming from a reaction to a situation? Or is it coming from a besetting sin, a habit that you just can't break? When Satan sees that there's a weakness in you, then he's going to drive a wedge down into your soul with an incessant beating of a hammer, and till you split apart. And once you split apart, I'm talking and referring to your personality splitting and becoming disassociated. You actually are in a position where you can be controlled very easily. Yeah, I want to just say this is a drama-free channel, and you're sure welcome here. We're talking about true crime, coercive control. If you don't want to talk about that, it's all good, But I sure appreciate y'all being here. Now, I'm gonna talk about some more things about Micah here that I wanted to share with you. And I wanted to get some of your opinions. We're talking about Micah's dilemma. Micah, the bride of JP, under JP's control. Do you remember him talking about JP's control? Yeah, we're talking about Micah Francis case. John, we're talking about Micah Francis. If you're familiar with that case, the 30-year-old pastor's wife, a beautiful girl, found unresponsive in the Lumber River, about an hour from where she lived. The next day, the pastor preached pretty much without a care in the world for 2 sermons. At the end of the second sermon, made a crazy announcement saying his wife had passed away. He used the word self-induced. This came as a shock to her family and friends. Her family says there's no way that she could do it. And it has been drama ever since. It has been one thing after another. It has been a series of TikTok interviews that he did. It has been News Nation. It has been, basically the case has gone international, and it is, yeah, we just ignore people, if they're not nice, we'll just ignore them because, some people just are that way. So I thank y'all nice people who are here and who are part of the chat. I appreciate you for contributing your insights. So Micah as the bride of JP, under JP's control. She had to be submissive to JP's demands. The fruit of depravity and death is what was born. She was, in her words, subject to have to watch unholy acts. She wasn't cool with it. She talked about husbands who are basically cruel and inflict their will on their partner, who through the use of illegal drugs or whatever it is, whether the abuse is psychological, sexual, physical. Abuse is abuse, and it's used to control the other person. It brings forth, in my opinion, the fruits of depravity and death. Now, as Micah, when she viewed herself as the bride of Christ, and I think y'all are familiar with the beautiful video that she did when she said, you know, whose bride am I first? You know, and the answer obviously is God's bride, the bride of Christ. Number one is free from abuse. 2, submissive to Jesus. And 3, the fruit of the Spirit. So that's the difference, a dilemma. And I kind of drew a little picture here. I said, the dilemma in Micah's world is you got JP in the church. Then on the other hand, we have the fact that God hates divorce. And God also hates abuse. Her whole world, her whole family became the church. But she, at the end, went for the new beginnings. She had a new car. She had a job apart from the church. And she had gotten baptized. She actually had begun divorce procedure. Nobody, I sure will. You let me know. Micah wanted new beginnings. Micah had already gotten some new beginnings, a car, a church, and a job. She had finally found Regina Ward to represent her in her divorce. She had been turned down by countless because of the control JP has, assumably, on this community, which is a damn shame. But you know what? God still provided for Mike, and it turned out, in my opinion, a beautiful person. After seeing her at the Micah's the festival the other weekend, you know, I was blown away at the power of her speech, and I knew in my heart that Micah picked the right one. And there have been ups and downs and speculations, rumors, and you know, whatever. I'm just giving you my opinion, and you're certainly welcome to have yours. Anyhow, Micah met JR at the age of 14 when her family moved to Myrtle Beach and began going to his church. At the time, he was married, a father of 5. I think he was in his late 20s. I think he was 25. He was married at that time to Allie. As time went on, seems to me he had his sights on Micah. She said he began grooming her at a young age. He officiated her marriage when she was 18 to his best friend, also a guitar player, and hired her to work at the office and to babysit. So basically, he was control over time because the other gentleman worked for JP. He apparently, allegedly, would send him out on a lot of miscellaneous, time-consuming chores outside the church, so he could be alone with Micah. They were found in an adulterous situation. It cost them both their marriages within a year. and JP married Micah. Now, we're just going to switch over what happened here. Go ahead and grab you a coffee and your snack, because we're going to talk about the fisherman and when Micah was discovered. I got me some mocha latte. So come on, I'm talking about Micah Francis, and I'm sharing my notes with you. Mysteries going on, and maybe with my information coupled with your information, it might shine some light on these mysteries. In the meantime, the FBI acts soon and brings justice for Micah. Well, Highland, I'm sorry your dogs are barking at you, but there's ways to control your volume on your own device. Thanks for joining us. I'm sorry that, apparently some people, whatever. I can't control the chat. I don't know how. I'm an old lady and I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm sharing my notes with you guys. All right. So let's move on. Now, we're going to go to April 27th, the day that Michael was found in the Lumber River. 55-year-old JJ, I'm just going to call him JJ, discovered Micah's belongings. This was 2 days after Micah served JP divorce documents. Reconciling religious beliefs and leaving their unhealthy marriage was a hard decision that Micah had made, but this time it looked like it was for good. She had moved on. She had gotten a church's car and another job. She was moving on. She had previous attempt, as is pretty typical in a lot of divorce situations, where you separate, get back together, separate, and Micah did that too. She had left JP a year earlier, moved to Kansas. Her friend said abruptly, after a couple weeks, Micah's friends received texts saying, "Praise God, I have been reconciled. My husband is allowing me to move back home," which I don't think any woman ever has said that, but okay, supposedly it came from Micah. Her friends and family said that doesn't sound like Micah. And we know that JP has in the past and is literally stolen her identity using her devices to send false messages to family, friends, and anyone else. So they got back together within a short time. Old JP was back to his antics, probably worse than ever. There's been allegations, prostitution, there's homosexuality involved, all just you name it, and it became part of this case. What do you all think about the time that you spent in Kansas? Does anybody have any opinions on that? I wonder why she didn't go out there the second time, too. Kimmy Sumhead, happy birthday to you. Of course, I can say happy birthday. All right. Yes, good Taylor. Jesus loves all of us. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord for that. Okay, so Johnny Jacobs, JJ. May 7th. Okay, there was an interview. All right. So I'm going to just give you the bullet points. Okay. According to the fisherman. Okay. So this is what I have. If you have something different, just let me know. And yeah, I think uh, Sandlapper. I don't know how to say your name. I think maybe she'd be alive if she did. Who knows? But in life, I guess there's just no what ifs. Everything unfolds in its own plan at its own time. It's just a tragic story, and in my opinion, it's one that can be avoided. Women need to be in a safe place. Men need to be in a safe place, and a lot of people believe that this was murder, and it certainly is indicative to me that it is. Regardless of what the ruling was. Yep. I don't have any opinions about all that other stuff. RathTube, I don't watch The View. It's a waste of time. And, to me, those people are just puppets, so I don't waste my time. I try to spread awareness, and that's basically what this channel is. It's supposed to spread awareness for victims and missing people, for also empowering people with tools that they can use to have a healthier life. Okay, so let's talk about the fisherman now. The timeline: at 11:30, he went fishing. At 4 p.m., stopped at the slough in broad daylight. He heard a faint cry lasting 2 to 3 minutes, and then heard a discharge. Later said it was a light discharge also. The crying stopped. He said, "Oh no, what's happened now?" He saw a couple coming in the slough in a boat. He said because they heard the shot. Now, later on, he said there were 3 people. Okay, so I've heard both that. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the old fisherman's story. I'm basically just going by one of his stories right now. Okay, so they exchanged words, told the story about hearing a cry, then a shot, and then it stopped. He always was sure to include those 3 things in every retelling. It was, I don't know, it struck me as being a little odd. Johnny sees what he described as a hole at the end of the lake, and approaches and sees Micah's belongings. If y'all have seen the pictures of the Lumber River, the path that went to the river, where Micah's the discharge pew-pews were found, where her purse was, yeah, it's sketchy to say the least. Anyway, so somehow he was able to see her belongings. Mary Rye, I wonder if he showed up at her apartment that morning and spooked her, and she went to buy the pew-pew. He followed her, and she was gang stalked, and they unalived her. It sure looks that way, doesn't it? I've seen a lot of the footage indicating that's probably exactly what happened. Even with the thank you, I appreciate you. Appreciate you subbing, liking, subscribing, sharing, doing all the things. I really appreciate y'all. This will spread the awareness for people who deserve justice. And we want justice for Micah. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. I love you guys. You mean the world to me. So, yeah, there's a lot of evidence. I remember, I believe I saw grizzlies. Her timeline of the stop at 31 grocery, was it? And yeah, paint that screen purple. Justice for Micah. Welcome in, Mary Owens, Mary Rye, Abundant, Summit. Welcome in, everybody from all over the world. We are spreading awareness and we're spreading love, empowerment, and truth. All right, so Johnny sees a hole at the end of the lake and approaches and sees Micah's belongings. He said outside her purse were the cell phone, her sunglasses, and he picked them up. He looked around. He saw nothing. He left in the boat. He loaded the boat and pulled out. He saw the laws and okay. So what he did was he picked up her things on a path that led to the water. He said he didn't see her. He what he got his little boat, he went on back to the landing. Got out of the boat with a purse, hooked up his boat in his truck. He said he was going for a lighter. He couldn't remember which store. There were two, and he couldn't remember which one he went to for some reason. And he went on home after that. He still had her purse, mind you. He went to his house. He changed his vehicle. He came back in a car. He pulled up behind what turned out to be an unmarked sheriff truck, Robeson County. I'm doing good. Welcome in. I'm better. Welcome in. Welcome in. He came back in a truck. He pulled behind an unmarked vehicle. He said he knew that it was the sheriff because he saw he had a drone and recognized the emblem on the drone. Okay. He said to the law, "Do you know Micah Miller?" And the dude said, "How do you know Micah Miller?" According to Johnny Jacobs. He told the same story. "I heard a faint crying. I heard a shot and then it stopped. I looked through the hole at the end of the lake and I saw her belongings on the side." I'm talking like him. You know, somehow he found that when he told the story another time, then okay, so let me just continue with this. So the cops said there was a blankicide on the river. The cop told him about Micah's 911 call and wanting the parents to find her. Questionable, I would say. They hadn't retrieved her at this point. Okay. So is he just going to share that information, law enforcement, and sharing that information? Something fishy about Johnny. Yeah. My story. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He did. He kept saying my story. And he'd say these 3 points. I heard a faint crying. I heard a shot. The crying stopped. It's like always in that order, like it was memorized, like it's a script. Hi, Scoot, Alex, Abdes Samed. So sorry. Micah's father said there were 2 shots. I don't trust the fisherman. He could have been paid to stage the scene. Mary Rye, yeah. There's a lot of inconsistencies, and I would much further believe Michael Francis. He doesn't have any motive to lie whatsoever. He has every motive to speak the truth and to find out the truth, because I can't even imagine what he's going through. And that whole family, God bless them. Yeah, there's a lot of fishiness with the fisherman. I have done some other videos on him and on his story, and I still have a lot of questions, maybe more. And so do you. All right, so the interview with News Nation now. Okay, so he was upset on this interview because he, remember, willingly had given that local news interview, then even content creator early days of the story. Well, now he's doing an interview with News Nation, And he's annoyed because his whole life has been turned upside down. And the first point that they wanted to bring out was he wanted to clear up his name. So, Ethan, can you shout out my dad, Mo Lester? Yeah, God bless you. Oh, Mo Lester. Oh, I can't believe I said that. I'm sorry, you guys. I am slow. Darn. Got me. Oh, all right. Whatever. Thank you, Mod. All right. So, with the interview with John Jacobs wanting to clear up his name after what he called, he was bashed, right? He said, here comes the story. I heard a cry. I heard a shot. After 2 minutes, now he embellished it with the after 2 minutes. Not a loud G-U-N shot. He said the crying stopped. That's when, now it was a faint cry, but it was a faint shot too. Crazy. Crying stopped. Went in with the boat, found her belongings lying on the bank, got out of the boat, grabbed her belongings, doesn't know why, looked around. He said, I don't know why I looked around. Well, maybe because of everything you just said. I'd be looking like crazy, especially finding a purse. Come on. A fanny pack, as he put it. Give me a break. Wouldn't you guys be looking to who it belongs to, especially after hearing crying? And one point that I've had about the crying, in all the videos that I've seen, both of Micah and JP, there's only one person I've seen crying. Part of me wonders, was that who was crying? Was it male crying? Because he never said he heard female crying, did he? Anyway, it's just a thought. Love from the UK, XXX. Love you guys in the UK, for sure. For sure. All right, so he said, okay, so went in with his boat. He found her belongings on the bank. He got out of the boat. He grabbed the belongings. He doesn't know why. Why would you grab belongings that don't belong to you? Why would you leave? Why would you leave in your car? Why would you come or leave in your truck, and why come back in a different vehicle? And why were these not considered evidential? Why were they not inspected? Why? I want to know why. Well, we're going to come back in a couple hours. I'll be back at 6, and we're going to continue with these notes. And there's a lot of them. We're going to go over some more of the fisherman's inconsistencies and timelines. And I want to know what y'all think. Thanks for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and share. I love you guys. God bless you. And I'll see you in a couple of hours. We're going to talk about more Micah. We're going to talk about the fisherman. We're going to talk about Amber Birbiglia. We're going to spread awareness about Amber. And we're also moving forward with any updates that we have on Sebastian, the missing 15-year-old boy out of Tennessee that seems to lose everybody down there in Tennessee. I wouldn't recommend going there because people get lost and apparently they don't get found. I don't know. But this 15-year-old boy has been gone for 9 months and nobody has a clue where he is. So we're going to update the information because Sebastian needs to come home for his birthday in December. All right. God bless y'all. Thanks so much. And I'll see you at 6 for some more live from Myrtle Beach. Take it easy, guys.